Welcome. Let's talk about the Phoenix Pro PTU6000 8H, which is an 8 handset version of the Phoenix Pro wireless microphones that will fit into one unit in a rack space. Let's take a look. We're going to unbox the thing and talk about all of the potential benefits. Here's the Phoenix Pro PTU6000 wireless microphone system. It actually came packaged just like this. It wasn't in any sort of box. Let's go ahead and get a different view on that there. This is the PTU microphone set right there. We're going to go ahead and open it up. Now you'll notice that the way that the packaging works, it's just shrink wrapped, but the actual box itself has a handle on it. So in the event that you do not pick up anything to carry the unit with, you can actually use this handle for traveling with the units. So when you're taking them out, whether it's a karaoke night, whether you're bringing them to worship team, practice, whether you're bringing them to band practice. And let's take a look at how everything is packaged up here. So first we have an actual hefty user manual, which is pretty rare for Phoenix Pro products. That's the first time I've seen it. Now this unit, this manual covers the PTU71, which is the 2 receiver half unit version. It also covers the 4 receiver PTU6000, and the one we've got today is the PTU6000, which is the 8 receivers in one rack unit. So we've got a nice hefty manual, which is a first in any Phoenix Pro products that I've ever seen. We have these nice hefty microphones. These are the handsets, and there are 8 of these. I'm actually using the multi-mic holder, the MAH1. So we're going to basically just remove these out, stick them over in the multi-mic holder here while we're unpackaging. I've noticed that just basically some of these are connected, some aren't. I mean, it's potential that there could be something going on with during shipping. Maybe it's interesting, they leave them undone, but they're not screwed on at all. So I suppose you could get scuffs or something like that on these units. But overall, these units look nice. They've got a nice matte silver grille on them. They've got the clear window. They've got the IR sensor where you can sync your channels. That'll be the first thing we do once we get this thing unboxed. And also, well, there's 8 of them, so we're going to be able to basically outfit anybody we want, whether it's karaoke night with the group of friends, whether it's an entire church worship team, pastor, youth group minister, several folks that we want to outfit with the microphones. We can do all that. So we've got the mics on the first layer, and once we remove that out of the way, the second layer of the tray has the receiver. Not taped or anything, just easily slips right out of there. There you go. Power button. We've got individual volume knobs for 4 on this side, 4 on the other side. So we've got all 8, and then basically it's nicely packaged here. There's one additional box, and in this additional box it looks like it has, we'll get these little flaps out of there, out of the way, all the accessories. So what are some of the things we have? We've got our 1/4-inch cable. You can actually use this microphone receiver as the mixer and just plug this in. That's how we're going to test it today. It does also have the 1/4-inch adapter to 3.5 millimeter for things like old cell phones. We've got the power adapter. Oh, this is cool. We've got the 8 different rings to identify the mics. So let's see what colors we've got here. We've got a gray color, gave us a red, yellow, orange. We've got a black, a blue, a green, and a purple. Okay. We also have the feet. If you were not going to rack mount this, these would be the feet that you put on the bottom of your unit to keep from scuffing up the bottom of the unit. And even though this is 8 microphones, it's a design that only uses 4 antenna. So this is not a true diversity system. We don't have like 2 receivers per microphone to automatically channel hop and keep the clear signal the entire time. However, what I can say from using the PTU6000s is that I haven't really seen it be a problem. This actually looks like it's using the same mic to share channels though, so this will be the first time that I've kind of gone through that. But with the 7000s, having the antenna there seems to work just fine. Finally, the last thing in the box appears to be that we've got battery sets for each. So we've got 8 different sets. Each handset is 2 AA batteries, powers each handset. So we've got 8 sets here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Now with the PTU6000, we can have the 8 microphones set up, each one with their own cords. We're actually even going to try to color coordinate the cables so that we can easily see on our digital mixer which channel goes to which microphone. And believe me, when you're doing a karaoke night and you know which singer's good, which singer's bad, and you just kind of look over there, you're going to be very grateful that you're going to know which color they are so you can bring them down in the mix a little bit. Make everything sound a little bit better. The ports on the back of the unit are very easy to understand. You'll notice that you have 8 balanced XLR ports for all 8 channels of the microphones. You'll also notice that you have a mix port that is a 1/4 inch port, and this will allow you to use the volume knobs on the front of the unit to mix the channels together in the event that you only have an amplifier or a PA system with 1/4 inch input. You'll also notice that the power cable is connected in the center. The antenna connectors are barrel connectors. They are the BNC barrel connectors, and they're actually, in this version of the unit, very tight and sturdy. They take quite a bit of pressure to get on and off. Here's the end of the connector. You'll basically place it on and twist until you get the unit to fall over top of the little nib, and then you're going to tighten with hand pressure all the way until you feel a click. Once you feel a click, you can go ahead and arrange your antennas, typically with a 90-degree angle from each other. And you typically don't want to cross. The process of scanning for channels is very easy. First, think of each set of 3 buttons as controlling 2 channels. So these 3 buttons control these 2 channels, and these 3 buttons control these 2 channels. We're first going to select by pressing the down arrow. You'll notice that channel 2 is selected. If we press set and then press the up arrow, it'll go back to channel 1. We'll press set, and we now know that channel 1 is the channel that is going to be selected. Before syncing your channel, you should always do a scan for a clear and open channel. Press and hold the set button, and the system will auto-scan for a new channel. You'll then take your handset and turn the handset on by pressing the gray button, and you'll see that there's a battery indicator and a current group and channel that's selected, in this case 1/8. This actually matches the channel that is auto-selected here. Let's go ahead and change the channel by scanning for a new channel. You'll now notice that it's channel 3, number 5, which doesn't match 1 and 8. You'll notice that the IR window for all 4 channels is located here, and it's indicated with an orange indicator. You'll line that up with the IR labeled section of the microphone. With channel 1 still selected, we're going to press the middle button and line up the 2 IR sender and receiver. We'll press set. When the channel has been synced, you'll notice that the antenna is now flashing because we're actually getting live signal. And if we press the button to review, you'll see that group 3, channel 5, has been synced over to our handset. To select the next channel, you'll go ahead and press the down arrow, And once channel 2 is selected, you'll press and hold the center button to scan for an open channel for channel 2 and proceed to go ahead and scan your next handset. So I've had these units now for about a month. As you can see, I've gained a little bit of facial hair and I've gained a little bit of experience, and here's what I found about the PTU6000 in the field. First of all, they're robust microphones. They're great for those karaoke gigs where you don't want to be worried if someone's going to drop them, but they also have enough weight in them so that they feel substantial, so that people are treating them like professional gear and not treating them like toys. The good, the bad, the ugly. The good, there's a whole lot of good. First of all, having the ability to have up to 8 singers at any given time, or speakers, or any combination thereof is just awesome. For those acoustic music sets where you want to have a stage that's free of clutter, you bring a few microphone stands and you can mic up as many acoustic instruments without having to fear of having those cords all over the stage for people to trip on. Pretty awesome. The battery life is phenomenal. In fact, the first day I had these things, I put batteries in them and I tested every single channel out to make sure it was working well. And I even left one of the transmitters on overnight. I came to come in the very next day, probably about 12 hours later. There was still about a quarter of the battery life left after 12 hours of it being on. Granted, the receiver wasn't turned on, so it wasn't necessarily making a connection that whole time, but even standby battery on a unit that's on for 12 hours is pretty awesome. Now, as far as the tech specs, these things have 328 feet line of sight, and I found that to be pretty accurate. Things like metal structures, metal fireplaces, they can attenuate the signal a little bit differently, and I even had some dropouts in some areas where there was things like metal in between the receiver and the units. Another thing that you're going to find out is that from venue to venue, different channels are going to be in operation, and you'll always want to scan for every single channel for every single event, no exceptions, unless you're going back to the same event over and over again. And even then, it's always good to check to make sure that you are getting those clear, consistent channels. But if you're talking about karaoke gigs where your singers are probably within 10-20 feet of the unit, I would say something like this with the antenna attached directly to the unit itself works phenomenally well. Had 0 dropouts, 0 problems. The character of the microphone is somewhat akin to like the SM58, the kind of workhorse of the industry. It's got some decent low presence. It's got some a little bit push in the mid-high presence, which is really nice. It makes for nice intelligible speaking, but nice mellow singing. It's not too bright, but it's a very powerful microphone, and it's even throughout. I found that if you get really close to the microphone, you will get a lot of low end and a lot of that proximity effect. So you'll want to make sure that your singer understands where they're at in order to get that right timbre of their voice. And I found that for me, it's probably about 3 to 4 inches away from my face. The microphones also sound great when put in front of a sound hole of an acoustic guitar. It was also used on an upright bass when we had kind of a live jam session gig. And the sound production was great. The frequency response across picks up a lot of those frequencies. Low frequencies of that bass sounded great, and it actually picked up some of the nice string action as well and gave it a lot of nice presence. At a little over $50 a channel, I mean, this is akin to having like a wired microphone, something like a SM48, which is not even really the top of the line Shure microphone. You're going to have at least that quality on the capsule. The build quality is great, but you've now also got additionally some wireless capabilities along with it. And with this thing taking up 1 unit rack space inside of my mixer here, I found that this nice compact system can have 8 consistently wired up microphones. Also, the idea that any singer can pick up any microphone at any time, and I'm going to know very quickly when I have my layout of my mixer and the colors of the mixer in rainbow order exactly which channel to go to is a godsend for those situations where you're managing a lot of singers, especially amateur singers on something like a karaoke night. You can also place these hand holds up and actually use it to help with good mic technique. So for example, if you want them to hold the microphone up here in order to stay free of the transmitter area with a little plastic cap at the end, you could actually just say, hey, hold it in your hand to where it goes all the way up to the top, and you can teach them to speak the proper way across the microphone. I've also found that for seasoned singers or for very quick access in and out of the mic holder, you can put them a little bit lower, and they're actually, they sit nicely in there, and they're very easy to just pick up and replace back in without any problems. These microphones could be used for lecture panels if you're obviously sitting at a table and you want to have a consistent microphone sound for each of your panels. That works well. I found in a corporate environment, Phoenix also has other products available with the podium style microphones that may work a little bit better for you. But for 8 channels, if you have multiple speakers or corporate events, instead of passing microphones back and forth, each individual speaker can have their own microphone. It can be color coordinated, and you don't have to worry about it. You take all of the hassle out of those corporate events. So, would I recommend the Phoenix Pro PTU6000? Of course, I'm a Phoenix Pro fanboy, but beyond that, I'm a user of the devices, and I realize that the bang for the buck just can't be beat. The compact nature of 1 unit rack space, 8 microphones that consistently, especially on short distances, karaoke nights, church worship teams that are close by the receivers, these microphones work great. You're not going to find a better bang for your buck. And the compatibility of these handsets with the different receiver combinations has also been awesome. These same receivers can be synced to the PTU6000, which is 4 receivers within a rack. Each channel has 2 antennae, which may make the connection a little bit stronger. They're not diversity systems there as well. It's 1 receiver but 2 antennae. You also have the 71 units, which have 2 receivers in a half rack space, which I found, especially if you are somebody that travels with your gear and you don't have a rack-mounted system like this, maybe you just want to have it in a small case or in your book bag or backpack, the 2 receivers, 2 antenna, and 2 transmitters travel very well. And you could invest, because Phoenix Pro does sell the receivers on their own, you invest in a system like this, you can actually pick up the PT71s and the PTU6000s and use those in conjunction with the same microphone transmitters. They are shareable on those systems and can sync to any one of those and work just fine. So overall, the cost, the bang for the buck, the performance of these microphones, they sound great. In fact, a lot of singers have preferred these over past Audio-Technica microphones that we had at our church worship team. They preferred the sound of these units to those. They have a lot more, like I said, a lot more low mids and even some mid-high presence that really fill out different types of voices. Again, each singer is a little bit different, but universally, I would say the character is pretty close to the SM58. And because of that, it means that it's going to be a pretty universal mic for instruments and voices. So check out Phoenix Pro, check out Amazon.com. We've got Prime Days coming up with Amazon where you can find a lot of these sets on sale, the PTU7000s, the 6000s. Go out, score an awesome deal, and have a lot of fun making music.